Good time of day, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. Let me deliver you a presentation titled Introductory Training and Project M&E for Program Staff. Before we continue, let me say a few things. You can stop the video anytime for taking notes. You can download the presentation by following the link. You can enlarge the presentation to make it full screen by clicking on the YouTube button. Today we will talk about the following things. What are the M&E key principles and objectives? M&E in project cycle, logical framework results metric, M&E main terms, M&E plan, how to assess learning events, how to collect M&E data, M&E resources and examples. What are the M&E key principles? They include systematic inquiry, honesty, integrity, respect for people, responsibilities to stakeholders. Basically, systematic inquiry means that staff conducts study-based inquiries that gather both quantitative and qualitative data in systematic and high-quality manner. Honesty, integrity means that staff display honesty and integrity in their own behavior and contribute to the honesty and integrity of the entire M&E business process. Respect for people. Staff respects the security, dignity, and self-worth of respondents, program participants, clients, and other M&E stakeholders. Responsibilities to stakeholders. Staff members articulate and take into account the diversity of the different stakeholders' interests and values that are relevant to project M&E activities. Objectives of IOM Ukraine M&E system. This is based on IOM Ukraine's M&E guidelines. Our objectives include to monitor and evaluate results and impact of IOM Ukraine activities, to enhance organizational learning and quality improvement, to provide a basis for decision making, to solicit and document feedback and disseminate results and lessons learned, to enable evidence-based accountability to donor agencies, political and financial authorities, and to the public, to improve reporting at all levels to make it simpler, better, and faster, and to contribute for the considerable improvement of project development. Project quality project M&E framework usually includes, in our experience, includes the following things. The following key 4 components. They are planning and reporting, governance, risk assessment systems, M&E framework, M&E activities. As regards planning and reporting, this must be built on quality project proposals, which includes detailed results framework, work plan, time frame, and reporting framework. Governance and risk assessment system includes a clear project organizational structure, working steering committees or coordinational bodies, risk assessment systems through risk assessment matrix. In terms of M&E framework, we have M&E project proposal component, M&E plan, learning evaluation framework, M&E budget, and transparency framework. As regards M&E activities, they may include needs assessment, baseline evaluation, feedback form, pre-post testing, interim and final evaluation, and impact evaluation. As regards the project cycle, which consists of project preparation, project evaluation, and project preparation, project implementation, and project evaluation, it may include initial assessment, then project planning component, where we develop our design, we draft a log frame, we plan our M&E system, we conduct a baseline study. During the project implementation, we monitor our project. If it's a large project, we may conduct midterm evaluation or reviews. At the end of the project, we may conduct final evaluation, and based on the results of the evaluation, to disseminate and use lessons learned. To check the sustainability of the project initiative, we may conduct so-called ex-post evaluation. A good project starts with a quality results matrix. That's clear. Of course, to make a decisions, you don't need 5,000 and something factors, but still, lots of important things to be have to be considered before we start the project. IOM results matrix log frame. Well, here we talk about horizontal and vertical logic. For the vertical logic, we have the following key statements, result statements, which are activities, outputs, outcome, and objective. For the horizontal logic, we have result statement again, indicators with baseline, target, and assumptions. For each level of the intervention logic, if results are delivered and assumptions hold true, then let's see if we implement the activities and assumptions hold true, then we deliver our outputs. If outputs are delivered and the assumptions hold true, we deliver our outcome. If our outcome are delivered and assumptions are true, we may achieve our project objective. Here we will talk about vertical logic. It starts with activities, which are the coordination, technical assistance, training, production, delivery, transportation, and other tasks that are organized and executed under the project. Outputs, that their intended change in skills or abilities of beneficiaries or the availability of goods or services as a result of project activities. Outcome, these are the intended change in institutional performance, individual or group behavior or attitudes, or the political, economic, or social position of beneficiaries. And objective, this is the most significant realistic goal to which the project can contribute. Objective are the results which the project is concerned. That's important to understand. It basically means that we have to be concerned about this. As one project, we cannot, of course, solve the this ultimate goal which we all try to achieve, to combat human trafficking. However, outcome are results which the project can influence. Here we bear together with our together with our partners, we bear responsibility for achieving outcomes. Outputs, these are results which the project can control. This is a cartoon about project logic. Again, we have inputs, activities, outputs, effects, and impact. Inputs, we see that this guy inputs his fingers and in the power line, and probably it's comes through this chain of people, and people are probably shaking. At least there's not all of them are smiling. Anyway, the results, we have output. We have light. As the result of light, this person can read. Because this person can read, I think she can improve her knowledge, her skills, and her abilities. Some other people may say there is a different impact of this project. Basically, this lady may have grown fat. Well, this needs to be discussed as part of a separate exercise. So let's talk about types of indicators now. We have quantitative, qualitative, and binary indicators. Quantitative indicators answer how long, how many, how often, how much. So they measure change. This may be figures, frequencies, rate, etc. Qualitative indicators, they're very subjective in nature. These are the observable change which we can measure. They deal with satisfaction, awareness, attitudes, and influence, and many other things. And binary indicators, they usually measure the project results at output level. they measure existence, yes or no. Project indicators must be SMART. This meaning specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Please, if you don't know this abbreviation, please remember it. It's very often used for different purposes. Specific mean it's specific. It captures the essence of the desired result. Measurable. Can we measure our results? Achievable. Will the indicator require no more than a reasonable amount to find effort and money to gather and analyze the necessary data? Relevant. Is the indicator plausibly associated with the result? And time-bound. Is it clear from the statement that results will be achieved within the time frame available for project implementation? Results framework objective. Well, so let's see some comments before we continue. As many people, we need to know what we are going to do, what the operation will do, what it seeks to achieve. This is demonstrated in result statement, in this case objective. How performance will be measured? This will be measured through indicators with baseline and target data. Assumptions are the factors outside management control that may affect project performance. So let's see an example. Objective. Project objective. Improved access to justice for all migrants in Ukraine, and particularly women and accompanied children. Indicator. Percentage of migrants by sex, age, seeking reparations through national justice systems. So let's see, by sex, we have 10% female and 25% male. By age, we have 3% under the age of 18 years. This is our baseline. This is something we have at the start of the project. Our target, what we have to achieve, we have to achieve the percentage of migrants by sex, age, seeking reparations through national justice system increase to 50% for female and 50% male, and by age to 10% under the age of 18 years. Let's see, it's basically a very important thing in project reporting in M&E, meaning that all your data has to be disaggregated by gender, by vulnerability, by age. Another example, indicator which states percentage of migrants who have sought reparations through the national justice system and are satisfied that their complaints were adjudicated fairly. So this percentage was at the beginning of project 0, after the end, at the end of project, or around 55%. I think it's clear. We have no assumptions here because this is the most senior level of project result. Result framework example for outcome. In our case, this is an improved national legal and regulatory framework facilitates the protection of migrants with special provision for migrant women and accompanied children. Indicator. Number of new laws or legislative amendments that have been passed to protect the rights of migrants, in particular migrant women and accompanied children. Baseline, meaning that this is the beginning of a project. No new laws or legislative amendments. At the end of the project, we are supposed to achieve 1 new law or 5 legislative amendments. And another target, at least 1 legislative amendment that expressly benefits migrant women and accompanied children. Another example, extent of which new laws or legislative amendments meet international human rights standards. At the beginning of project, new law exists. None of them meet international human rights standards. After the end of the project, yes, we expect that new laws or legislative amendments meet human rights standards, yes. factors outside management control that may affect project performance. These are assumptions. Sustained government commitment to apply the new national legal and regulatory framework to facilitate the protection of migrants. So without government commitment, we won't be able to achieve our outcome. This is important. Result framework example for output. What we seek to achieve. We plan to prepare a draft bill of rights for all migrants is accessible to all government ministries and migrant community organizations. Our indicator is existence of the draft bill of rights for all migrants. No at the beginning of the project, at the end of the project, yes. Draft bill of rights for all migrants meets international human rights standards, and 85% of migrant community leaders are satisfied with content. Yes, so we need to demonstrate that it meets by the end of the project that it meets international human rights standards, and 85% of migrant community leaders are satisfied with it. Assumption. Inter-agency working group participants advocate for the draft bill of rights among their respective constituencies. Let's see another example of output indicators. National Law Reform Commission officials have skills and knowledge to apply international human rights standards to the migration context. Well, we will basically train National Law Reform Commission officials. Number of officials trained. By the end of the project, we must have 40 officials training, and this is next one is important. Percentage of trained officials who score 70 or more on a post-workshop test. Baseline 0, target 85. That means the percentage of trained officials who score 70 or more on a post-workshop test. They need to demonstrate it. You need to have a post-workshop test to demonstrate that 85 of your participants score at least 70% on the test. Assumptions. National Law Reform Commission officials apply their new skills and knowledge in the workplace. So they have to apply for our outputs, activities and outputs to achieve higher level. Next slide, results framework assumptions. Result framework, activities and assumptions. Here you see activities is pretty simple. Workshops conducted, prepare and draft bill of rights for all migrants, validation workshops to validate the bill of rights for all migrants, training workshop on migrant rights for National Law Reform Commission officials. Assumptions. Participants are sufficiently senior and reputable to ensure the credibility of the draft bill of rights for all migrants among their respective constituencies. National Law Reform Commission officials are engaged and willing to learn. Basically meaning if they're not willing to learn, they're not engaged, these activities will not achieve its results. Okay, this is the end of the first part of the training. Thank you. Please go to the second part of the training.